Oh. All right. Night, people. Night, everyone. Yes, the Kems is not here yet, so we have to get the show on the road until he's here. Night, everyone. Night. Night, Wally. How you feeling, Wally?
Good, you know.
All right, all right. Good to be here. So, all right, tonight, until Kems come, we're gonna Wally. Before we start anything going to the Sunday game, we just want to talk about the Thursday night game. Before the season, now everybody was expecting, not everybody, other people was expecting Chiefs to be going to the Super Bowl again. But they started off bad, right? And then people were saying, oh, based on the division that they're in, and based on how things looking, Chiefs may not even make it to the playoffs. And I was saying, let's give them some time because they're in a tough division. And now I think they win like what, 8 on the trot or 7 on the trot.
I
And
think
everybody
so.
was everything was about the defense. And they gotta fix the defense. Defense is hard, but everybody can put up points. But now they're back up in the AFC West. They're 10-4. Not looking like anybody gonna catch them at this point. So what are your thoughts on the game itself, Wally, and the Chiefs overall? What have they done right to be back above in back at top of the AFC West? What have they what have gone right for them? What do you think about the game that went on?
Well, you mentioned. I'll pick up where you left off with the defense. So
Mm.
there has been a significant improvement with the defense, and you've been seeing that after about week five, if I remember correctly, about week five, you've incrementally seen the defense, ramp up. They started to get to the quarterback. They were also having some breaking up plays, and they were able to also get some fumble recoveries, and able to convert those for touchdowns or put the team in good field position. On the offensive side of things, what I'm seeing them now is that they were kind of trying to force feed Tyreek Hill and Travis
Mhm.
Kelsey, and they had pretty much abandoned the run game. But now you're seeing a better mix. The run game is being incorporated, and even if it's not direct runs from the backfield, they're actually getting Edwards Hilaire out into positions to receive catches, and then he's making yards after the catch. After that, and then what that is doing now is opening up options now for Travis Kelsey and Tyreek Hill. If you look at their production, um, in the latter part, the last 3 to 4 games compared to earlier in the season, you can see an increase in their production, and that is due to just a willingness to get them when the teams are playing zone, get the pitch and catches to Patrick Mahomes. He's taking those now. He's not trying to force feed the deep balls downfield, and so all of those things are coming together nicely where that is concerned. um I still don't think they're home and dry yet when
Mhm.
it comes to the playoffs. I mean, the Chargers, if they were a little more um clinical, I think the game could have been a lot closer, and certain things could have gone their way. So I still think they have some opportunity to tighten up some things, but they're definitely heading in the right direction.
But Wally, what you mean like they're not home and dry with the players? What you mean by that? Like
No,
you mean like
looking at the big
in terms
picture.
of the other teams or them not making the playoffs? What you mean?
No man. When I say home and dry in terms of the playoffs, meaning I wouldn't consider them a showing to make the Super Bowl
I
or
mean,
to win it
oh,
all. Right.
okay. So I know two things for me that stand out with them because watching them is the play of Edwards Hilaire because he started off at no when they pick him in the rookie year, it was like the last pick in the first round, and everybody he had a goodie rookie year, but then he didn't start off so good, but then his players come on as of well, and like you said, the running game has kind of like given up options for like Kelsey and them. And then they went out and get one of them guys from Steelers. What is his name? Ingram. They went and get Melvin Ingram from Pittsburgh. They'll kind of shore up the defense because the talk was everybody just putting up points on them. They can't stop nobody. So they went out and get Ingram, and now the defense definitely playing good. Initially they had playing some,
but don't lose your train of thought though. Devin, the Chargers scored almost 30.
Yeah, so, 28 on them. Yeah.
Yeah, so it's not like it's not like they know have a vice grip in terms of where the defense is concerned.
Wait, I agree. But all right, the argument was that when they started the winning run, they were beating some bug team, and everybody said, yeah, some easy team that. But they beat Dallas, they beat some quality team, and now they beat Chargers, which is also a quality team. It's not that they like outclass them, but they still win them. And I guess I can see the argument where you're going to say, all right, coming in the playoffs, coming up against better opponents, it may be a problem. Kem's is the man. Like sometimes when him don't like certain teams, and there was a podcast when you weren't on, and there was a thing where we do another thing to say, like, if the playoff would have ended now, and as it stands at that time, I think Chiefs was supposed to play. I think 49ers. I don't remember who Chiefs was supposed to play. And he was saying, oh, that team would beat Chiefs, but I see them probably can go all the way into the AFC. Who's their major threat in the AFC? Wally, who would be their threat for them to reach the Super Bowl? Because winning it is different, but who would be their major threat?
Well, let me look back on let me see if I can find back the bracket.
Because in the AFC, AFC East, you have New England. There's New England. But you have AFC North, you have Baltimore, Cleveland, and those teams. So I'm just giving you the best team from out of there, from the AFC. And then you have Tennessee, Indiana, Kansas City. So is New England their biggest threat? Is New England their biggest threat in the AFC East? In the AFC, not the AFC East, in the AFC. Would you say it's New England?
Yeah, I would say New England. I would say New England. That would be reasonable. Yeah, that would be reasonable to say. I would say New England. I wouldn't argue with anybody who would have them as their biggest rival.
Okay.
Biggest rival.
All right, let's welcome Gary. Welcome Gary to the show. Big up Gary. Gary, we're just talking about the Chiefs and I'm just talking about the game Thursday, and we were saying initially they started off bad, but now I think they went 7 on the trot, and now
Yeah.
I don't see anybody. I don't think nobody's stopping them from coming out of their division. I think they win in the AFC West clean. They're 10-4, with like 3 games to go, unless some major thing. So what do you think has been a turnaround for them in terms of their play now? And who's their biggest threat to them reaching the Super Bowl from the AFC? Right?
All right.
Them reaching the Super Bowl. Not winning.
Yeah, not winning, reaching. All right. Let me adjust it. Firstly, their turnaround in the last 7 games was really attributed really to their defense. I saw a statistic, I think the game on Thursday night, in the last 6 games, their defense has allowed 11 points per game over that span. I think their point, the turnover differential is plus 10, while in the previous games, their turnover differential was minus 10, and they were allowing like 29 or 30 points per game thereabouts. So over the last 7 games, including on Thursday they conceded 28 points, but the points per game ratio over the last 7 games have been really impressive. The defense have really stepped up. The offense, I'm looking at the offense. There are still some issues on offense, really. But when you're winning, those things are covered up. I was looking at the game because I watched that game in full, including overtime on Thursday night, and I really think the Chargers really should have won that game basically because I saw them leaving some easy points on the board, and I know analytics will tell you fourth down, it's a 50-50 chance and it's about 40%, and it's more likely to work out if you go for it. But the Chargers, I think on fourth down, they had like about 5% possessions in Kansas City 5-yard line, and they didn't cash. And even before half, there were 2 instances in the first half when it was 4th and 1. I think one other chance was 4 and 2. And instead of kicking the field goal to go up 17-10 in halftime, elected to go for it, and it was a 10-14 game, and KC received the ball for the second half. So I think a lot of times, some of the teams, there are instances where it would be better served to just to go for the 3 points, personally. And I saw the Chargers on Thursday night really made some errors in terms of not leaving some easy points on the board. I'm not saying you can't go for it, but they weren't everything. They were just running right through with the 4 downs and all the opportunities they got. And I really think they should have analyzed the situation a little bit better and probably kick some field goals in some instances. And I'm looking at Patrick Mahomes. Yeah, he had over 400 yards on Thursday night, but I continue to see some bad mechanics in his game, right? And they practice a lot of sidearm throws. He practice a lot of sidearm throws and behind the backs and foot, all of that. And there was a simple on 4th down at the goal line. I saw there's an option route, Mikael Hardman splitting, wide left, and the throw, he was wide open. And I know they say he didn't get the laces and all of that, but that seems to happen to him more often than not of late, where he misses some easy throws. And that is because when you practice a certain technique, it really becomes a part of it. And some of the easier throws, I see him missing them a lot. So he gets away a lot with some of these things because, his overall game is a, very, very brilliant quarterback. But over time, I've seen some things coming to haunt them. And if they go to the probably the playoffs or the Super Bowl against some elite teams that makes very little mistakes, as opposed to some of these, mediocre, middle of the pack teams, they are gonna suffer from some of these things that I see them. But I see New England as a serious threat to them in the playoffs. They should meet up in the playoffs.
Okay, all right. So before we move on to the Sunday games, we have a game. There's supposed to be 2 games tonight, and one I think he got moved to Monday, the Cleveland and Raiders game because of the COVID thing.
COVID is so, yeah.
All right, and then we see other games that they move on to Tuesday. The Philadelphia game got moved to Tuesday. Seattle game got moved to Tuesday. This is a thing we always talk about with the NBA. So how serious is this COVID thing with football and stopping the season? Is that serious, or the season will continue with fans in the stands, or they may have to take the fans out of the stands, or what? How serious it is, Wally?
Well, right now, I think the measure is precautionary. There has been no advisory in terms of having persons not attend the games. So I think it will be business as usual, and they will be dealing with it on a case-by-case basis. I don't see any whole-scale postponement of games or any sort of replication of the bubble that the NBA went through. So I think they're managing it on a case-by-case basis.
Gary, you're seeing a big threat to the, games being played without spectators?
Well, I know the The NFL in terms of, I'm not sure as to the specifics of their protocols and the policies for COVID. I know they are not as stringent, in the NFL, because I think they don't have a mandatory in some of the states, and the NFL doesn't treat the vaccine situation like the NBA. They have not had a bubble in the NFL, but I think the NFL, because the players, as I said, they will be vaccinated and they go and they mingle and they come to training. And I think I've heard some ground swelling. I heard Baker in a press conference about the testing policy. I don't know if he's accurate, but there's some with regards to their testing policy. I've heard that they do not test teams before they come to training. So they will come in, the guys go on the road, come to training on Tuesday there, or whenever they do mingle and whatever, and then they test just before games or after. And some players seem to have an issue with it. And I've heard Cleveland linebacker as well, Garrett, made some statements. And the NFL, even though they have this policy where they bring back fans in the stands, etc. I think they are really concerned a lot about the financing or the making of the money in the sport. So testing is, I understand, is very expensive, and you have about 65 guys in the locker room. So to test every single day, before the guys come to training and after, when they come before games, I think it costs a lot. So they really seem to be shortchanging and chopping, some costs there. And in the long run, I think it is not beneficial overall to the brand and the NFL, the Shield overall. So I think, if the guys are not mandatory or required to be vaccinated, then I think more emphasis needs to be placed on the testing, rudiment testing on the teams. And if the outbreaks continue, it's kind of difficult with the bubble situation. I don't know. And remember that the playoffs are basically here now. So it might be easier now to get them in a bubble for just the playoffs into the Super Bowl. But they had this, I think they should have been prepared for this, knowing that fans will come back in the stands and the guys will be free to go about and mingle and so forth. But let's see how it plays out. But I think if it affects, playoff games where, 10, 12 guys, main starters that are supposed to be starting, for the teams are not able to go, then we will see some changes in terms of how they approach it. But for playoff game, imagine Kansas City playing the Patriots probably in the AFC divisional game. And 8 starters: Patrick Mahomes, Kelsey, Hardman, Tyreek Hill, all these guys, and you're playing some second string players. That won't be a good look for the NFL. So I think it is best served for them to consider how they go about with the testing and how they treat the games.
All right, gentlemen. So tonight we have a game tonight. So before we touch the Sunday game, it's a Saturday game. We should have had 2. We only have 1 tonight. So the Patriots, I think they lead the NFL. They lead the NFL in points allowed. Like they're 15.4. Coming up against the Colts, I think they're the 3rd highest scoring team in the league. About 28.5, 29 point something. I think something there about. So something got to give tonight. Either the defense will hold up, or the scoring gonna continue. You have like the GOAT coach Belichick is there against Frank. Colts coach is Frank Reich or Reich, or is pronounced Reich. So this game has great implication because New England will be in the playoffs, but Colts is a more desperate team because other teams can catch up to Colts. So how you guys see this game playing out tonight?
Another victory for the Patriots. Once you have Carson Wentz at quarterback, even if he starts out well, he'll find some way to make a mess of things. So and then Bill Belichick and his team, they know how to scheme for these guys. And Carson is not really a quarterback that is known for beating schemes, beating a game plan. He plays, and if it turns out well, then so be it. But more often than not, it doesn't turn out well. So I expect another good game plan to be executed by Bill and his team, and a victory for the Patriots.
Gary, are you see the game?
Yeah, this will be an interesting game. I know the Colts are desperate because I think they're in a wild card spot, if I'm not mistaken. They're 7-6. The Patriots are 9-4. I think the Patriots themselves, like the Chiefs, are probably on a 7-game winning streak. 6 or 7 games, but they have been really hot, and they have been led by their defense in the last few games. Matter of fact, since the streak has begun, I think they are about, if not first or second in points allowed. I think the Chiefs are first over that span, but they are very stringent on points over that stretch. And Bill Belichick, is a mastermind on defense, and he has been doing a very good job. And as Wally said, Belichick is a master tactician, so he will scheme away. So he will take away your strengths, and you know that he's a defensive mastermind. So if Matt Jones is to throw the ball once and then run it down your throat 45 times for the game, that's what he's going to do. Case in point, the last game, I think it's the last game they played, where he only threw 3 times, and they ran the ball right throughout. If it is a case where that is to happen for them to win, he's going to do that. So I see this game as a win for the Patriots. And as I said, Wentz is not, a quarterback that really impresses me, and a lot of persons, know since his injuries, he's not been playing well, and since he's from the Philadelphia days, he bounced around. But he's not that type of quarterback that will take you over the hump. But I think he's not that kind of guy anymore. So I don't have faith in the Colts in this game, and I really see the Patriots winning this game. Even though it's being played at Lucas Oil Stadium, I think they will come out on top, and Bill Belichick will find some plan in utilizing Mac Jones as best as possible to minimize the mistakes and to work to his strengths. So I believe that this game will be a victory for the Patriots.
All right, so gentlemen, I don't have anything to put up, but I was looking for it, and I found something whereby if the playoffs should end today, right? We're just gonna do this, then we're going to the Sunday games. The playoffs should end today in the AFC. Kansas will have the bye. All right.
Mm-hmm.
Then New England against Buffalo. Who you got for that one, Gary? Just gonna make your picks. New England against Buffalo.
Oh, that's the current seeding of the
today.
Oh, New England against Buffalo.
Yeah.
And
Dubai, and then
the Patriots will be the higher seed, right? So that means that would be
the higher seed.
Yeah. Interesting game. I would really lean towards the Patriots. Maybe if it was at the Bills, I would it would be a toss-up. But I really think Bill Belichick will scheme a victory there. Josh Allen is sometimes he's a bit unpredictable. I don't like how the Bills are playing right now. So in that game, currently, as the teams are matched up right now, playing how Bills are playing versus how the Patriots are playing. No, not in another 4 weeks. No, I would lean towards the Patriots.
All right, Wally.
Yeah, man, Patriots.
Patriots. All right. So you would have Colts against Titans. Titans will have the number 3 seed, so they would be at home.
Mm-hmm.
Oh, by the way, I'll go Buffalo in the game of that. I'll go
in that game. Okay.
Mm-hmm. So we have Colts.
Mm-hmm.
They will be on the road to Titans if it ends.
Mm-hmm.
Who you going with there, Wally?
All right.
Tough one, right?
Yeah. It's just because of I can't believe I'm seeing this, but I'd give just looking at the ability to get the ball on the field and complete the passes. I would give the I would give the Colts the edge, especially having T.Y. Hilton, who has been proven over the years to make some big plays. I would give them an edge, but I wouldn't argue with anybody who would have the Titans.
You're going with Gary.
All right, this game is very interesting. I listen to the points of Wally, and when it comes to the playoffs, right? The game slows down, and the running game will be critical, right? So when you weigh the teams, the Colts have the better running game, right? They personally, to me, they have the better running game. As Jonathan Taylor is running the ball extremely well, and the Titans, they lost Derrick Henry, so I'd put the running game at play for the strength of the Colts and give them that victory. So I don't think Tannehill, I might trust Tannehill a little bit more, but I personally think the running game will be critical here. So I'm leaning towards the Titans.
All right, these are two quarterbacks that I really don't like. I don't like Wentz and I don't like Tannehill. So for this game and the loss of Derrick Henry for the Titans, I'll definitely have to go with the Colts just because of that situation. So the other game in the AFC matchup would have seen if the playoffs ended today, people. We're not saying this is going to be it. We're just creating a simulation here, an hypothetical situation. So it would have been Chargers and the Ravens. Ravens, as it stands, would be at home.
Why? How Lamar playing now? Right now I would actually pick the Chargers.
Right, I'm with you on that one.
Right now I pick the Chargers.
Yeah, I'm with you on that one because I don't trust the way Lamar playing.
Yeah. Right now I pick the Chargers.
I'll go with the Chargers. I'll go with you on that one. Who you going with that?
Yeah, I'll give the Chargers the edge right now. I don't like how Lamar is playing, and as I said, is he injured?
I think they're saying.
I know he had a lower leg injury.
Yeah.
I know he had a lower leg injury. I'm not sure how bad is it or what is it, if what the diagnosis is, but I know he had an injury. So if currently, I think the game on Sunday, I'm not sure if he's starting. But I know there are supposed to be some tests. I'm not sure what's his status, but currently if the playoffs was to start now and he wasn't starting, then it would be a no-brainer. If he is starting and the playoffs started currently with that injury as well as how he's been playing, then I'd lean towards the Chargers personally.
All right.
I don't know what is happening with Lamar. You since his MVP year, you could almost say, well, certainly comparing this year to his MVP year and to a lesser extent last year, you could almost say he has regressed. Prior to his injury, which he got early in the second quarter, he was just 4 of 4 for 17 yards. So he was struggling to connect with his receivers, making the open pass. I'm not sure. And then he's the best part of his game, not firing a while ago, which is his ability to
run,
get around the edge or use his speed and get yards. I just don't know what's happening. I can't figure it out. I just can't figure it out.
All right, so we all agree on Chargers. So the Chiefs would play Chargers, right? That will be the next matchup. The Chiefs will play Chargers. So we all agree on Chargers. So Chiefs will play Chargers. So how you see that one playing out?
The Chiefs will play Chargers.
Yeah, the Chiefs will play Chargers.
So who Baltimore would play? Who you had Baltimore play now?
So what I'm saying now, we're saying Baltimore play Chargers. Remember, we're going to the next round now.
Mm-hmm.
So we all agree that Chargers will beat Baltimore.
Oh, okay.
So moving on to the next round now. Remember, Chiefs will have gotten the bye. So Chiefs will go up against Chargers.
Yeah, man. Soup.
Soup for the Chiefs?
Soup, yeah, man. Soup.
Soup for the Chiefs, look here.
Yes, man.
Chiefs going up against?
Yeah, they go up against remember we all agree that Chargers will beat Baltimore, right?
Yeah. Oh, so then the second round we're talking now. Okay.
Yeah.
Yeah, as much as I don't want, I really like the Chiefs, so God no. But I'd have to roll it them. To be honest.
All right, so we all agree on Colts. Everybody agree on Colts beating Titans, but we were split. Both of you say New England. All right, so New England against Colts, because I see Buffalo against Colts. So New England against Colts.
Mm-hmm.
So from your perspective, New England against Colts. So you all see New England beating Colts right there?
Yeah.
All right.
Yeah, not much analysis there because I said, the far better team is the Patriots. I know they're playing.
All right. So I would have Buffalo beating the Colts then. All right. So therefore now it would leave that what? Basically we're saying it would be a Chiefs versus Patriots then. And I was Chiefs versus Buffalo. So I'm going with the Chiefs all the way. So Chiefs versus New England now. That would be the better matchup, I guess.
Best matchup.
Huh?
That's it. Yeah, that's the best matchup right now in the AFC based on the teams and how they play.
So those who would meet for the AFC for one of them to go to the Super Bowl. Who you see on top there?
Yeah, man, definitely. As much as Billy's a genius, the talent gap is too wide for him to scheme and negate that over 4 quarters. And coupled with that, you have a rookie quarterback in his first postseason. It's just there's too much stacked against the Patriots for them to overcome the Chiefs, and especially how they were embarrassed last year. I know they are desperate to get back to the Super Bowl.
All right, Gary, you said Chiefs as well.
I am really leaning towards the. To be honest, if Chiefs, unless they're gonna get better in terms of, because even though they're on the 7-game winning streak, I don't think they're playing well enough. Their offense has been really up and down. They're scoring points, but they still have some deficiencies. And as I said, if they play a team that makes less mistakes than those teams that they were playing over the span, right? And they don't have a running game, and you know that in the playoffs, a lot of the passing the games, tends to be more centered around the running game, especially in the conditions, depending on the conditions that you're playing in. So, it gets cold around this time. If they're playing, they're the higher seed, so I'm assuming that they would play at Kansas City. But the time gets colder. I'm not sure if there's much snow in Kansas City, during the playoffs in January. But I think the running game will be very important or critical in that game. I really want to lean to the Chiefs. Listen, I'm going to just go out on a limb, to be honest, and I like New England. I think I would go with them, to be honest.
All right.
I would go with New England.
Well, he say he has to go. So in the NFC, Gary, I think it's easier decision making here for us. All right. Green Bay has the bye. So Washington will face Tampa. In the first
Washington against Tampa Bay.
Yeah.
Well,
there's something to think about.
It's a no-brainer. No, I wasn't thinking about it, I'm going to say, well, it's a no-brainer. No, man, I wasn't thinking. I'm saying, well, that's a no-brainer to me.
Okay, all right.
That's basically a no-brainer.
I'll give you our next one then. All right. And then as it stands now, people remember it's as it stands, all right?
Yeah.
The Arizona against 49ers. Another
Yeah.
no-brainer.
Niners against Arizona.
Arizona would be at
Division
home.
game. I'm going with Arizona, but these games can be tough. I'm
Yes.
not saying it's going to be a blow, but I'm leaning towards Arizona. It's not going to be a blow, but I'm leaning towards Arizona. But division games, I know the teams know each other
Right.
very well. So it should be an interesting game, but I'm not going to pick San Francisco. It's not going to be a blowout. I don't think it's going to be a blow, but I think the game should be really close.
Yeah, those two, Tampa, Arizona. All right, this one may be more interesting now. All right, Rams against Dallas. Dallas will be at home.
Dallas against the Rams, and Dallas will be at home. Be at Jerry World. All right. I'm not high on the Cowboys, to be honest. Because Dak hasn't been playing well, right? And we know that he has come off that injury, that leg injury. I think it's calf injury, and he's been really atrocious. I think he has 8 touchdowns and 6 interceptions over that span since he's been back. There was an outlier game. I think that was the Falcons game where they won 45-3. But even in the last victory, he wasn't good. He hasn't been playing good, right? Playing well. The Rams now, they had a little lull. Matt Stafford is in the last game, I think, he had about 3 touchdowns, I think. He played well the last game, but there was a span of 3 games where he had like 2 pick sixes and he was turning the ball over. That game will be in
Dallas.
They said.
Yeah, they have.
I'm leaning towards the Rams as much as Dallas will be at home. The defense, they have the running game will be critical, as I said again. I know Tony Pollard has been injured. Zeke has not been running the ball very well. If Tony Pollard is healthy and gets back healthy with Zeke, I think the two-head monster there is the more explosive of the 2 running backs. But if it's solely Zeke, I would want to lean towards the Rams. But either way, I think the Rams have the more defensively, they are the better team. On offense, matching both personnel, I would say they're stacked closely together. CD Lamb, Gallup, Amari Cooper, they have Beckham, Cooper Cup. I think Woods is out for the season. So their offenses are kind of comparable. As I said, Dallas has the slightly better running game. So I really think the Rams defensively is far better than the Cowboys are offensively. So I am leaning towards the Rams, to be honest.
Yeah, because when I look at it, for Dallas, your defense is solely relying on a rookie, the guy named Parsons. Like if he doesn't play, Micah, I don't think the team overall does well. So I'm leaning towards Rams, and then when you match at each personnel, Rams have the better players over. I think they're slightly more. They're more talented than Dallas, and I think they should get the better of Dallas. So moving on quickly. All right. So Green Bay will come back, because for this next round now, Green Bay will play the Rams then, because we both agree on the Rams. So Green Bay will play the Rams, and then Tampa will play Arizona.
No, it gets really interesting.
No.
All right. So Green Bay and the Rams, and Tampa and Arizona. Boy.
All right. So and then Tampa would be at home.
Yeah, because they will finish higher seed.
Yeah, Tampa would be at home to Arizona, and definitely Green Bay would be at home to the Rams.
So all right. Taking the looking at the Tampa versus Arizona game. And we're looking at both teams being fully healthy and having all the pieces, right? Because that is a factor. My understanding, I think it was Friday, I learned that DeAndre Hopkins will be out for the season or for the rest of the playoffs, because I think he suffered that injury, his knee. Yes, so that is major for Arizona, because that is their number 1 receiver, and he's that number one offensive weapon for them. So as much as Zach Ertz came in and he's doing well, and the other receiver there, losing the up, to be honest, is a major blow. Their running game, it's fairly decent. But I think Tampa has a far better running game with Leonard Fournette and Rojo. And Tom Brady, the wildly experienced veteran, being at home. I would lean towards Tampa Bay, and they have a very good run defense, as I said, rush defense. And running the ball in the playoffs will be critical. And they are, I think, third or second in I know they are top 3 or top 4 in run defense. So that will be critical. So I really, to factor in, D-Hop being out, their running game being better and all of that, the better, defensive team. And Arizona with, Kyler Murray, not being on that stage so much, Tom Brady, he lives for these moments, he's very experienced. This is his forte, Kyler Murray, coming into the playoffs as a newbie on the block. Decision making will be key. I don't really see it as much as, it will be good kind of to see, some new players, going further into the playoffs. I don't see Arizona passing Tampa Bay, to be honest. Not currently, as I see it.
I just see it as a repeat of last year in NFC Championship. I don't see Green Bay and Tampa again. Yeah, and Green Bay gonna get their revenge this year. You know what I mean? I've not much analysis to it, not much thing to it. You could put the analysis to it. I just look at it. So Green Bay and Tampa.
Green Bay and Tampa.
And Green Bay.
It's leaning, I'm leaning towards that too. And the other game, as you said, Green Bay is a higher seed, so they'll be at Lambeau.
Right.
And that to go into Lambeau that time, a year with that kind of weather, the blizzard, snow, not being able to throw the ball, the running game is gonna be critical. So we have guys slinging the ball over the park. You got to take that ball and run it. So they have the better running game. With Aaron Jones out of the backfield. So that will be critical. And I don't see anybody going to Green Bay and beating them.
All right. So people,
I say Green Bay and Tampa.
We say it now, so here we have it. We give our Super Bowl prediction so far, if it is a case where these things hold. So we have it that Kansas City and Green Bay will meet in the Super Bowl. All right, the winner.
Well, I kind of leaning towards the Patriots though for the AFC. So
all right, so
I'm leaning towards the Patriots
for the AFC.
I'm leaning towards them.
We have the Super Bowl.
I go out on the limb and pick them there.
All right.
To be honest.
So we're not going to pick the winners today. We're going to wait until everything finalized, because we don't want to pick the winners yet, but we say we have it there because anything can happen. So when it's done now, we'll come back and we can decide on the winners. All right. These Sunday games, Gary, right?
Yes.
I'm going to run through some games where it's like it's automatic for these teams to win. So I just want to tell you, I just want to ask you if you think there will be an upset in any of these games.
Okay.
Because the spread are so high in these games. I know you're not into the gambling thing, but you understand the spread. Bills and Panthers, they have Buffalo to win by 13. So you think Panthers gonna upset the Bills? Bills at home? Any upset?
No, I don't see it. I don't see it. Has anyone seen the Panthers over since Cam has been back?
Gosh.
They're awful. If they win that game against the Bills, I know the Bills have not been playing well and they won the last game. But if they win, that would be the upset of it. And when you say the line is 13?
13.
So to show you, because when you have a 13-point line, because a 7-point line is a big line. So imagine a 13-point line. That's not going to happen. Trust me, that's not going to happen. That's the biggest upset of the week.
All right, we jump into Arizona and Lions. The same thing too. Arizona is on the road and they're favored to win by 13. You see any upset there?
I don't see. The Lions got their one win the other day against Minnesota, so they won't finish with a winless record. So that's it for them, I think, for the rest of the season.
All right. Dolphins, they're at home to the Jets. Their
So the
favorite
Jets.
by 10. See any upset there?
No. The Jets have been really awful, and Zach Wilson has been atrocious. I don't see that. And they're on the road. I don't see that. I really don't. And defensively, the Dolphins have been playing pretty well. So I don't see that.
All right. So Giants and the Cowboys. Giants are at home, and Cowboys are favored to win by 12.
By 12.
Yeah. So you see the Giants
game. That to me that can be more likely be an upset. It's still out of all the games that you have called so far, that might be most possible, even though, because it's the division rivals and they know each other. Well, I don't see it happening either. But the line at 12, to me, maybe a little bit too high. Yeah, the line, division rivals, that line is too high. But I see the Cowboys winning, but the 12 line is high for me.
All right. We'll give you another easy one. Oh, I'm sorry, but this one may hurt your feelings. Tampa at home to your precious Saints. Tampa by 12. That's easy win for Tampa. No upsets there for this.
You know my team already, Devin. And as I said, the season has been really lost since Jameis was out, and they lost 5 on a track. They won back the other day against the lowly Jets, and they really struggled. The line, as I said, is division rivals. I understand the line. I'm not necessarily going to say it's too high. Taysom Hill versus Tom Brady. Plus Taysom Hill as a splint. I think he has an injured finger on his throwing hand. You know, and the Sean Payton, I understand. I saw it, I think, on Friday or recently, that he has tested positive, so he will not be coaching that game. So even though when I probably had some, far-fetched hope to say, listen, a miracle can happen now with him out. I don't know who will be calling the plays. I said maybe the offense. What's his name? But I don't see them. I don't see them even winning that game. It can be closer than we think.
Right.
Might not be a blowout. If it's a blowout, I wouldn't be surprised either way. But I don't see them. That upset is not on the cards.
All right. So next easy one. 49ers at home. I don't know if it's one easy to Falcons. They're favored to win by 9.
49ers and Falcons?
Yeah, but 49ers, they're at home.
49ers at home. The Niners have been really trending up the last few games. I think they're in the what are they now? 6 and 7? I think they're on 6 and 7. 7 and 6.
Yeah.
7 and 6. So they are in the wild card spot. I think they're in the wild card spot. Them and the Rams in the NFC West. And they're at home to the Falcons, who have been atrocious. The line is 9 instead.
Yeah.
Yeah, out of all the upsets, that is more likely to happen. But I'm still not putting my neck out there for the Falcons, because I've been very bad this season. Well, for the last few seasons, I've been very bad.
And then 49ers don't want to drop out of that spot.
No. I think they will. I think they and Jimmy G has been playing well, and the running game is good. I don't see it. The line might be closer, but I'm working with the Niners.
All right. So the other one now, these are other ones where it may be a more interesting matchup. So Green Bay, they're on the road to the Ravens, and they're favored to win by 7. Green Bay, I think for Green Bay, people saying Ravens really need this game, but Green Bay need to win this game too, because they cement that home field advantage. Because I think since Matt LaFleur take over, they only lose like about 2 or 3 games. If I'm not incorrect, they don't lose games at all, right? So they cement that home field position, Gary, and make sure that throughout the playoff they have that home field advantage. So even though if they lose the game, they'll be 10 and 4, they're still making the playoffs, but they want to ensure that nobody overtake them with that home field advantage. So they really want to win this game. The spread is a touchdown. How do you see this one playing out?
Interesting game, and as I said, it's at Lambeau or the Ravens.
No, it's not at Lambeau Field. It's at Baltimore.
as I said earlier in the show, I'm not sure of Lamar's status for that game.
Right.
There's a lower leg injury, and even if he's playing, I think the Packers have the advantage in that game. I said the Ravens have not been playing well. Lamar has looked really bad in the last few games. Defensively, they have had some cause for concern defensively as well. So I'm leaning the trajectory of the Packers right now. They have been playing very well. Rodgers has been playing well. The running game is good. The defense has been playing well as well. So with all the issues that the Ravens have been having on both sides of the ball and Lamar's play, whether he plays or not, I'm leaning towards the Packers. And as you said earlier, they would want to press home that advantage of keep up that number 1 seed. And I'm leaning towards the Packers in this game, to be honest. As I said, the NFL is unpredictable, but if it's an upset, it's an upset. But I don't see this upset on the cards, to be honest.
All right, you have 2 other games, right? With these two teams, right, have similar record. The 2 teams that are playing, right? So one game doesn't really matter. But these 2 teams have similar record. Jaguars and Texans. They are both 11 team.
2-11.
Jaguars are to win by 5. It don't even matter who we call it for that one. Yeah.
Yeah. The Texans and the Jags.
Yeah.
Yeah. Two bottom feeders. 2 terrible teams.
Don't ever care who won that game, to be honest, Garrett.
I don't care, but I think the Texans are probably the slightly better team. So
yeah, and interestingly, the book is they're at home. The Jaguars are favored to win by 5 points.
Oh, the Jaguars are favored at home.
Yeah.
I know the turmoil in the Jaguars, right? Remember their coach has been let go. Urban Meyer's let go.
Telling the people that's one of my top 5. I'm taking Texans with those points. So
yeah, I'm taking the Texans as well. I don't see the Jaguars winning either.
All right, this other game now, Gary, is a nice game. All right, Broncos and the Bengals, because these 2 teams can still drop out. They are both 7-6 team. Denver is at home. Denver is favored to win by 3 points.
Interesting game.
Denver is playing good defense. Teddy Bridgewater, I mean, he's not playing well as we want him to be, but like the defense is really keeping them in games.
Yeah.
That one is a tough game, and
they're playing at Mile High, right?
Yeah, Denver. Yeah, in Denver. They're favored by 3. Because I figured the game was in Cincinnati. Cincinnati would have been favored by 3 as well.
Because the teams have similar records, and
both 7
both had topsy-turvy seasons. Both 7-6. The better defense is with the Broncos. They're at home. The conditions in Denver with the air and all of that, and the Bengals. I'm a big fan of Joe Burrow, but he's hot and cold. So I'm leaning towards the Broncos, to be honest. They have the Bengals the better quarterback, but overall the defense is gonna be the key. So if you ask me to take the quarter, it was a quarterback, issue solely, I would definitely, with my eyes closed, Joe Burrow.
Yeah.
But the team overall and the defense, I'm leaning towards the Broncos, to be honest. I think I'd lean slightly towards the Broncos.
I'm going to the Broncos as well. And then
it might be 3 points, right?
Yeah. And this game is so important because none of them are in there now. Like when they did that thing to see if the playoff ended, none of them would have had a spot.
None of them are in the wild. So they are fighting for that wild card.
Yeah, they're in their room because they're not far from any other team that has been there. Because in fact, if you look at Baltimore, they're in their division. They're 8-5.
8-5. That's it.
Baltimore loses that game against the Chargers, they will be 8-6.
8-6. And if
and
Cincinnati wins, they'll be 8-6.
will
So
be
they'll be
in the same division, right?
yeah, that's AFC North.
Yeah. So that means that's really one of the games with a lot of meaning on.
So put it this way, Devin. I'm looking at something here, and I'm seeing both teams 7-6. One is AFC North, one is AFC West.
Mm-hmm.
All right. Either way, if I don't think Broncos are highly unlikely to fill a wild card spot,
Right.
But I can go on the record and say both teams need this victory more than anything else. Even if the Broncos win at 8-6, they are still alive. The Broncos 8-6 are still alive. So any team lose this game, I think that's it for their playoff hopes. Because the Bengals will be 7-7 in the AFC North, and if the Ravens win, that's a bigger gap. And I think they have the Bengals have beaten the Ravens earlier this season. I think the Bengals would have beaten them.
Yeah,
I think so. So they would have a tiebreaker, but being 7-7 versus the Ravens would be what, 8-6 now.
Right.
I mean, if they win that game against the Packers, it would a 2-game lead. So I think those games have implications. This game carries weight as well as the Ravens game with the Packers. So
yeah, the only other Sunday game, all right, is the Titans and Steelers. Even though Titans have a 9-4 record, they have a 9-4 record. They're on the road. Steelers have a 6-6 on the one tie game there.
The one tie, yeah, I remember that tie.
Pittsburgh are favored to win this game by 2 points, and because they're at home, and Titans have a 9-4 record. I guess without and they're on the road, and Pittsburgh playing better.
I know Pittsburgh playing better, but they're and Pittsburgh. I'm really not convinced. I really don't see Pittsburgh has been the team hasn't been playing well. The quarterback, I think he has Ben Roethlisberger as word has it, on ground swelling that this is his last season.
Yeah.
He's still out, and he's been very middle of the pack, to close to the last quarter of the pack in terms of the quarterbacks. His quarterback rating has been way down, yards per. I think this is his worst season since I can remember. Throwing the ball, he barely can throw the ball 15 yards downfield. So he's not been looking good. To be honest, I know they picked. They have the Steelers favored by 2, but I'm gonna go with the Titans. To be honest, I don't. Pittsburgh has not been playing well. I know they need a victory, but I really don't see it. Even though they're at home, they'd have to pull out all the stops for me for this one. I know the Titans have been kind of up and down. Tannehill is somebody that you have to the play action is a strength for him. He's not so much trustworthy throwing the ball 40 times per game, but I would lean towards the Titans, to be honest. Not only because of the record, because of the other factors with Pittsburgh, how they're playing and their quarterback situation. In terms of offense, I think the Pittsburgh offense has been way down at the bottom of the league in terms of points per game and yards per play and all of that stuff. So I'm leaning towards the Titans, to be honest. That line is surprising for me, even though at Heinz Field, I really don't get it, to be honest.
I was seeing something whereby on one of these there's this betting show on Fox, and they're saying like with Titans, they shouldn't try to go out and risk too much in this game, because that's what the guy was saying. Probably that's why they're probably disinterested with this game because they're 9-4. And the next closest to them in the division is the same Colts, which is I think
7-6.
Right.
And they're 9, so they are 2 games up.
Right. And what they're saying, looking at the other games after this, they have 49ers. I think they have Dolphins and they have Texans.
Also, they are looking towards those as easier games. Oh.
They don't have to try and stress and try to injure certain players, try to
Understand.
They're saying that's why the line can be in one of them games where it can be like
it can go either way.
Yeah, because they may be interested with the game. That's what
that would influence the line. Understood.
That's why he was saying.
As I said, the NFL is a very funny. As I said, the professional teams, it can go either way.
Yeah,
I don't know the idea
the problem
of them.
Information where they know some things, you know. So we're just gonna quickly run through that. There are 4 other games. 2 on Monday. We're so because of the COVID thing now. We have games on Monday now. So we have games Saturday, Sunday, Monday, Tuesday.
Okay.
We have Vikings and the Bears on Monday, and we have Cleveland and the Raiders. So Cleveland, they're at home. They can still get in the on. They're against the Raiders. The favorite to beat the Raiders by 3. We don't know who's gonna line up for Cleveland because COVID is.
Yes. And to be honest, if you're a tipster and you pick that game on the page, you should have. You want to change that pick because to be honest, there are 13. I heard the discussion on Fox on Friday.
Yeah.
And they have 13 starters out, David.
13,
that's how good it is. 13 starters out. So it's and they have a 3rd-string quarterback. I think it's Nick Mullins because Case Keenum is out, Baker is out. So they have Nick Mullins. So I don't know what to make of that. I don't see Cleveland that game. I don't really see Cleveland.
I wonder why. What Raiders that bad? Are they expecting some of the players to be back by Monday? Why Cleveland still favored by 3, or because they're at home? Or is the home factor?
No, to be honest, I think the factor is that Cleveland. Sorry, that the Raiders over the last few games has been playing very terribly. And one of the times, you remember after they had their whole situation with Gruden and the receiver there, Ruggs. They were on a stretch that they won about 3 games thereabout, and they were really, looking good. And the last few games they have been, remember they were beat down, I think, by the Chiefs?
Yeah.
Their game 40-something. I think that was last week. 40-something points. And they've been really atrocious. Derek Carr has not been playing well. So I think the line is influenced really by their play over the last few games. But to be honest, if you, as an NFL team, Devin, playing basically a 2nd-string team, because I don't think they have any serious COVID issues on the Raiders. So if you have 13 starters out, right, on your team, and I'm going against you, yes, it's a professional team, fine, and 2 professional teams. But if I can't beat you with all those critical players and key pieces missing, you're not ready. So I think this is a victory for the Raiders if they cannot win this game, because I don't see them making the playoffs either way. But going into the off season, giving yourself some moral boost and all that. If you can't win this game, you're not ready. Personally.
Vikings and Bears is the other game on Monday. Vikings on the road, they're favored to win the Bears by 6. Vikings and Bears.
Vikings and Bears.
Yeah.
And that's a division.
I think Bears.
NFC North.
Yeah. I just think that
the Bears are 5-9, I think.
4-9. When I see them
4-9 actually. And the Vikings, interestingly, they are in a wild card spot at 7-6. I think they are in the last wild card spot.
They're 6 and 7.
7-6. Yeah, so they will want to win as much as of the remaining games as possible, because they are looking forward to holding on to that wild card spot. Kirk Cousins has been, I think the last game he had a couple of picks, but he played well in that game. So the Bears are not good.
Okay.
To be honest, I see the last game, the Bears are really not good. They're feeling out their quarterback situation. Feels, I think he can make plays, he run around and scrambles a lot. I think they need in the offseason to get, work on some more pieces and things. But it looks like he can be a quarterback for them for the future. But I don't. This season is lost for them. This season is really lost, so they really don't have anything to play for. They want to play spoiler, so they will want to beat the Vikings, to be honest, because these teams are division rivals, and they want to, you know, play spoiler and lead them out of the playoffs. But I personally see the Vikings
winning.
You know, winning this one, and trying to keep, you know, that wild card spot locked down.
All right, we can jump to the Tuesday game. Rams and Seahawks. Rams at home, favored to win by 7 by a touchdown. Yeah, and then Philly, a division game again. These two teams, if they think that Dallas can slip up, which I don't see them, they're both 6 and 7. They're both 6 and 7, and Philly's at home. Washington is another team hit with a lot of COVID too. So Philly's favored to win by 6 at home. Rams favored to win by a touchdown at home. So I'm going with
the Rams are at home against Seattle.
Yeah, I'm going with Rams, and I'm going with Eagles in these two games.
Or you're going with the Eagles and the Rams? Yeah, division rivals.
Because I don't know.
I'm going with the Rams as well.
I'm going
the Eagles against you.
Yeah, I'm gonna use your argument for the Washington game. Like, so many players out for Washington. We don't even know who the quarterback will be, right? Because of the COVID, right? And if as Eagle, you're at home and you can't be that. Oh gosh, man. What's your purpose?
That's true. But Philly has really not played well over the last few games, to be honest. And I think Jalen Hurts has missed. I think the last game or the last couple of games. I know he was out. But they're coming off a bye, right?
Come in and play good. I see Minshew step in and Minshew play good.
Yeah, that's true. So as I said, I hear a point with Philly, and I'd give them that win as well. But boy, I don't know. You know the quarterback situation when they are coming off injury. So it'd be interesting to see how Jalen Hurts plays. But and then Philly's at home, right? As I said.
Yeah.
So I'm thinking they could pull. They should be able to pull this one off. But as I said, anything is possible. But that game will be a very evenly contested game because I said division rivals, and they play each other regularly and know each other. So I think Philly could pull that one out.
Rams 9-4 and Seahawks 5-8. Seahawks still trying to play a spoiler. I don't know. Rams
Yeah, and the Rams. That's the Tuesday game.
Yeah, it's a Tuesday game as well. I said
it's the Rams and the Seahawks.
Yeah.
At the Seahawks. The Seahawks want to play a spoiler. The Rams are, I think they're in the wild card spot. So because Arizona is in that division. Yeah, so they want to really get a higher seeding. I don't think they can win the division. They might would want to because they're in the wild card spot. They might want to edge out Dallas or one of these teams for a higher seeding. So every game now is more, gets more and more critical for the teams in the top echelon, in the top 4. So I believe that the Rams want to win every game from here in and out. Not sure what to set up with the other with the Cardinals, their last 3 or so games. They will be hoping that they can, the Cardinals slip up for them to pounce, but they would want to win every game. So I'm thinking that this game is a game that they would want to win.
All right,
I'm rolling with them.
We reach that time when we're gonna give the people them some picks, So this week now, Gary, I am tired of losing. You know what I mean? So what I'm going to go, and I'm always critical of people who go for third or whatever. So this week, not only I'm going to give the people them 5, I'm going to give you at least 7 picks straight win. You can go sell a fridge or a TV.
It's not your house though, or your car, but just a fridge.
I'll probably sell some fridge and put it on it, man. All
okay, right? Just a fridge.
Yeah. Can sell a fridge and a TV.
Yeah, but not the house. Just
straight
a fridge.
Win, people. Straight win. Just buy these teams to win. If you combine them, you may get like a odds of like $4.10, something like that. Last time I checked. Buffalo to win, the straight win. Arizona to win. Miami to win. Dallas to win. 49ers. Tampa to win. All right? So that's...
Well, as a man would say, As a man that I say, boy, you're going for the easy.
Yeah,
easy thing, you know. When you say you're tired of lose, because them that's straightforward, because I would be rolling with those.
Yeah, that was straight win. Tampa, not just 5, that's why I give you some extra one. Tampa, that's 1. 49ers, that's 2. Dallas, that's 3. Miami, that's 4. Arizona, that's 5. Bills, that's 6. And you can take Green Bay for 7 too.
I like those. That's not bad at all. Not bad at all.
Win. Right? No spread. Just go and tell them say you want it straight. Yeah, you put a $2,000 on it, you probably get a $10,000. Yeah, that's how I see it. I'm not the other spread and everything. No, I can't bother with those.
Yeah, you can't work with that because it's so unpredictable. Over the last few weeks, some of the picks we have been making. I know I wasn't on the show the last 2 weeks, but I think even before that, the 5. Remember when we were making the 5 picks about wins? I know the last about 3 weeks, most persons were either 1 and 4, 2 and 3. It has been really terrible because the games have been. There's been so many upsets over the last few weeks.
Saying, like a couple years back, you sometimes you could tell where a 1 or 2 week there will be like some upset games, or like this week, like every week, like you have
every week. Some teams that you didn't expect to win. So if you pick 5 games and you say these games are sure, 1 out of the 5 games that might give you a return to pay. So it's really unpredictable, to be honest. There's so many upsets happening week by week now compared to 2 or 3 years ago. So
all right, so Mr. Producer and everything, and people, all right, people, y'all see it, subscribe. We're trying to reach the road to 1K subscription. I've been I tell my sister, I tell some other people to subscribe. I'm gonna check on them to ensure that they subscribe. So Gary, reach the point where we give you a minute or 2 to talk about any sporting topic. May not necessarily have to be NFL, could be basketball, any sporting topic that you want to talk to. A minute 2, and we close out.
All right. All right. I'm gonna go. Kems is not here this week. So Kems, I didn't really prepare anything, but I'm gonna just talk about the Lakers. I know it's your team to Devin. But Kems is not here this week, so that rule is off the table. So let me go ahead. The Lakers now. I see where they're signing Isaiah Thomas on a 10-day contract. There are rumors are growing, it's making the mills that they're considering trading are getting rid of Westbrook. As I said personally, I don't know that fit. That fit to me didn't I didn't see that fit working out in the long run for the Lakers. The chemistry of the team, they've not been playing well, as I said, on the basketball show. They have a problem defensively, and Anthony Davis primarily, and I understand that he's out now for about 4 weeks because he's about a month because some knee problem. I don't know what they said it was. So personally, I believe this team, they will do well. I think they might win about 40 to 45 games, and they're not going to finish higher than a 7 seed. They'll be in the playoff, the playing tournament. They will be in the playing tournament, but to be honest, if they don't make the playoffs, I wouldn't be surprised because the team this year is really not good, to be honest. I don't see. And LeBron is going, he's playing at a high level, but as I said, he's not that kind of player like 5-6 years ago where he can put more on his plate and take them over. He needs some assistance. And as I said, Anthony Davis has been, playing very poorly. Russell Westbrook thing hasn't worked out. The players are not, the team is not really special. So I know the media, the media houses and the analysts, they sing on this team every day. I hear them talking about if this and this don't happen, they might not make it out the West. And I'm saying making out which West, they don't see Golden State, they don't see Utah, they don't see, there are like 5 other teams where they're talking about making out the West. They need to just try and get in the playoffs. Right. They're talking like the Lakers team is some world beaters. Them can barely beat Memphis. Come on, man. So personally, I think I don't know this season. is lost for them. So they can, try to get some pieces next season. I don't know how the Russell Westbrook thing is gonna pan out, but I don't know. I don't think it's looking good for them.
All right, I'm gonna stick with my minute to basketball, but guess what? I'm gonna go back with Kyrie because I see where
he's been activated.
What do call it? Activate Kyrie for the road games. It's
for the road games. Sorry, David. It's just for the road games. Oh no, because I saw it and see where they say it's activated. So I'm thinking now that he has been vaccinated. And
no.
Okay, because I'm saying but Kyrie will out so long.
So that's why I'm like, no, I'm in a disagreement with the Nets for doing that. I know players dropping because they've been affected by the COVID too. Players dropping like and safety, but like I would not bring this guy just for road games. I am in disagreement for that because I'm wondering, and I was saying the same thing, and then I was saying to my coworker come right away, and I'm saying like, all that pen out in the locker room, all the guys will see that, you know what I mean? Him just being around just for the road games. So I don't know how it work for them in the locker room. And then, you know what, as my coworker call me, Gary, I went to ESPN and this guy name, what's this guy name? Wilburn.
Mike Wilburn. He's on ESPN.
He was saying he's curious. The headline is Wilburn is curious as to how Nets locker room will welcome back Kyrie. And I was saying the same thing I was saying to my coworker, like, just how that will affect the, just the camaraderie of guys in the locker room. Are they open to that? You know what I mean? Because you have to think about how that will play out too. So I'm still, my thing is what he's dealing with. So it's either, there's no halfway with it. It's either you get vaccinated and you come back and play all the games. But don't playing on the road and when you're at home, you're not playing. That kind of chemistry and everything. So I don't know.
It's interesting that what you're saying though, Devin, because if the Nets were struggling, I would understand the rationale but they are number one in the East. They are I think 20-8. And Kevin Durant basically has been on a tier the last few games. Over the last 8 games, I think they're saying it averaging 30-something. I had a triple-double the other night. He's playing out of his mind. So they have been doing well and they're leading the East. So I don't know, they are not in a desperation mode right now. So I'm trying to figure out, the reason. Why the reason. But I guess they want to get him in the team now too. Right. Because going forward, the playoffs kind of have him, playing with them to get the chemistry. But when it comes down to the playoffs, he's not vaccinated. Is he just gonna play in the road playoff games and then the home playoff games he doesn't play? So I don't understand to be honest.
See what I was saying now on Sports Frenzy here and the producers and the hosts, they're saying wouldn't you have to create 2 different style of play for the team on the road and at home? That's what I'm saying. It affects team chemistry. Put aside the locker room situation, it definitely gonna affect team chemistry. Like, how you gonna play?
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Yeah.
He's out for this game and then for that. Yeah. It's kind of I get what you're saying.
Yeah, so that's my situation with it. I'm in disagreement with it. I don't like it. And like they're not doing that badly,
No man, they're leading as I said, if they were 4th, and even if they were 3rd in the East, or 2nd or probably 4th, as I said, it's just about quarter way there are 28 or 30 games out of 80, so they're not quite halfway yet.
29 games, 21 and 8.
Yeah, so it's not even halfway. So they it's not any desperation mode. So I don't understand. I don't know.
I don't know if it's a factor where KD is like, even though he's doing good, like he's playing a lot of minutes.
Yes, he has been really burning, and trust me.
Because they had to rest him for tonight game against Orlando. They rest him.
And Devin, I think even in the playoffs last season against the Bucks, I think that came back to bite the Nets because Kevin Durant worked so much in that series against the Bucks because it's basically him hard nose a shell of himself. Yeah. And I said you could see that he was burned totally out. He's not used to carrying the team, probably like LeBron. you know, to be a facilitator and to run the offense and to score, and he demand too much of him. So he will get it, to me, it will burn him out going into the playoffs. So I think maybe that is one reason
why
you could look at.
Yeah.
Maybe.
All right, so Gary, thanks for coming on the show. Thanks for your time and being here. Thank you, guys. Thank you to everybody who were in the comment section. Continue to recommend people to subscribe. I know Demo, big up to Demo. Demo has been working, telling people. Michelle, I've been telling people. I started to do it a lot too. I tell my sisters. I put it on my page. We're telling more people. I try to get them to subscribe. You know. So thank you, everybody. Hit the like button, share, subscribe. All right. Thank you, gentlemen. Producer and everybody, thank you. All right. We'll see you tomorrow for the NBA show. We don't know what happened to Kems. Yeah, hopefully we'll be on tomorrow. But if not, Mr. Producer, I'm here. You can call me too. I'm not going to charge you. I'll fit in for you on the part-time host.
Say no more, boss, man. It's all yours, man. But hear what? Gary. You know, that goes to church in the boss. You need to get your church people to subscribe to the thing, boss. You have a whole lot of people behind there.
No problem, sir. I will do that. I will make effort. I know. I'm still when I left me out. 2 Kems come look on the show on YouTube. I said, I see Kems, so I was checking for a link in my Gmail.
Man, Gary, you what I'm Gary. It's because we switched the platform them. That's why, because we're not
platform music. All right.
Yeah, man. But bless up on yourself, man.
All right. Bless up.